always said the only constant is change in college football, but over more than 150 years, there have been some things that you can count on. If you can run the football, you have a chance to win. And boy, do we have guys who can do that in this one. Welcome, everyone, to the home of the LSU Fighting Tigers, Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium. As we'll see a team looking to make it back to the CFP this year, the Florida State Seminoles, taking on a team from the playoff a year ago, the LSU Tigers. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we are ready to tee it up. And the Seminoles will put toe to leather to crank us up. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Give to the running back. He never had a chance to get it to the edge, and first play of the game, and you're already behind the sticks.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country.
After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. The give to the back. Finds his way ahead for 3 out to the 27-yard line.
And that run really didn't go anywhere, and a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
They'll move the wide receiver. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Makes the catch. They make the stop about 4 yards short of the first down.
And I love the discipline on defense right there. Big 3rd down. So everyone keeping their eyes on the quarterback, rallying to the ball, making a tackle. Great team defense.
So the last thing you want to do is start the game, first drive, go 3 and out. They won't do that here. They might go 4 and out, but they'll try to convert here. Might be changing the route. On 4th down, they'll pass for it. Makes the grab, past the marker. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense not exactly the perfect 4th down call there.
Wow, and that was just a bang-bang play. On that 4th down, the coverage was tight. QB had his receiver. He knew where he wanted to go with it, but the only way that ball gets completed is if he puts a little extra mustard on it, and he shows you the arm talent on the throw.
Wants to go up top on 1st down. Fires one high and deep. And is knocked away and incomplete. The defensive back staying in phase and batting it away.
And this defense, we know, they present a lot of challenges. And you could see it right there, man. They shrink windows fast. They're a top 25 defense for a reason. You really better make sure you're dialed in today, or else they can make you pay in a hurry.
Quarterback just flat missed it. Incomplete.
Well, it's a nice job by the quarterback getting the ball out of his hands quickly on that RPO. He saw something he liked, just not on the same page with his receiver.
Now facing a 3rd and long from the 50-yard line. From the gun, wants to pass. Another incompletion on third down.
This is a point where you just got to be able to focus. And the critical down and distances in this game, like that third down right there, when it's a good throw, you got to make the catch. You got to be able to make that play.
3 straight misfires has left them staring at 4th and 10, but they'll try it again. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half.
Timeout, LSU.
Three straight incompletions, and undaunted, they'll go for it on 4th and 10. Might be calling a hot route. On 4th down, looking for the completion. He's got it in, more than enough for a first down. How about that one? 4th and forever, and he just turned one loose and fired it for the first down.
Man, does that sting. Defensively, you get him in the perfect situation. You know they're going to pass the football. You play the ball deep, and you give up a deep pass. That is a back-breaking play.
Unloads to the wideout. Connection to the right. That one takes him down to the 13-yard line.
That much time for any good QB in college football is not going to equal success for your defense. The defense has to do a better job trying to get pressure on the quarterback. He's way too comfortable.
LSU with the 1st and 10 here. Wide receiver comes in motion. From the red zone, looking for a receiver. Picked off, and the opening drive is stopped with an interception. He stopped, not much on the return, but a whole lot in getting the football.
That is the perfect start for a defense that has really struggled against the pass this season. They're in the bottom portion, okay? Have struggled, but opening drive, making a statement. Maybe this creates some momentum. Maybe this turns the tide for this defense.
A little wrinkle here as they go to the Wildcat and use the extra blocker. Snap to the back. Shakes off the defender. Off to the races to the right. He's at the 50. The 30. Past the 20. And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, Florida State. What an explosive eruption into the end zone by this running back.
And this back does it a lot, that he makes big plays. When you can make big plays like this, it makes everybody's job easier. Oh, we can play action. Oh, we can throw it. But it starts with the run game, and this guy's setting everything up.
And he passes on the touchback. Here he comes. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. That last drive was promising for a while, but you just can't mess it up at the end with the pick, Jesse.
No, you got to be able to finish drives, especially in this game if you're going to win. And, David, they've got to be able to eliminate the mental mistakes.
Yeah. And the quarterback goes down all the way back at his 4-yard line.
You're not going to win a lot of games if you can't protect your quarterback. In their last game, they got sacked 4 times, lost the game. And so far in this one, they're having difficulty again. These guys up front have got to do a better job communicating and giving their QB.
Intercepted. A first-half turnover can swing momentum.
Man, another mistake by this. Listen, he is an elite quarterback. He's really, really good. He's pressing too much. Jesse, the #1 job of a quarterback, you better protect the football. I don't care how good you are, you better protect it.
Yeah, you just got to take what the defense is giving you. And I agree, David. It looks like right now he's trying to force the big play instead of just checking it down or throwing away. He's got to do a better job working through his progressions right now. He's got tons of talent. He's making bad decisions.
Know the situation, know the game of football, right? When I start to get outside the pocket, I don't see anything there. I can throw the ball away. I don't have to take a sack, get a lost yardage play. I can just throw the ball out of bounds as long as it passes the line of scrimmage. We go on to the next down. No harm, no foul.
After the incompletion, back to the passing game. Buys a little time with his feet. Man, did he pay for it with that hit as he got rid of the ball.
Yeah, and your first job is to affect the quarterback and try to get him off his spot. They get him off his spot, he gets outside the pocket, and a nice job chasing, not quitting, getting to the quarterback, and still getting a good lick as he's throwing the football.
They are calling for their defense in Baton Rouge. A huge third down coming up. Fires to the wideout. For the third straight play, the pass falls incomplete.
Well, this is a disappointing drive for the offense, considering where this drive started, in their opponent territory. Now you're 4th and long. You've got to be better throwing the football in those types of situations.
Three straight misfires has left them staring at 4th and 10, but they'll try it again. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Takes his shot. He's got it. First down and more. Stopped at the 3, but it'll be enough to give them a 1st and goal.
That is a huge play early in this game. We came into this thing wondering just how aggressive this offense wanted to be, and there you go. First half, 4th and long. We're not bringing the punter out on the field.
And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, no!
This is a guy that put a lot of pressure on himself coming into the season. He felt like he was ready to have a breakout year. He knew he had all the tools in the toolbox to be able to get it done, and he's showing it. That's his 10th rushing touchdown on the season.
Lining up for the PAT. And the extra point makes it 14-0. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Let's see if he can make a play on the return. The coverage team maintains his discipline, not much doing on that return. They'll try to put something together, backed up a bit, starting at their own 13. They'll try the run. Not a lot of movement on that one. The defense in position.
Well, not a great run there, but I think what the coaching staff is trying to do is they're trying to help out their quarterback. He's thrown interceptions on each of his last 2 drives. The best way to try to settle him down is to get the running game established. But I think the defense is aware of that right now, loading the box. Everybody up front is ready for the run.
Got 3 on first down at 2nd and 7. Quarterback making adjustments. Trying play action. Catch in the middle, it's stopped. They make the stop, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's all about. A very productive play until it was wiped out by that penalty, and they'll go back to work. Here comes the offense on 2nd down. Running back searching for a hole. Pushes ahead for a couple. They'll mark it at the 10.
I like the decision there in the RPO game too, guys. I know he only got a couple of yards, but that play's going to open up bigger opportunities throwing the football down the field in the RPO game too. So keep handing it off to this guy. Let him see what he can do. And when the defense gives you the look to hold the football and then finally throw it, that's when you take advantage.
This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. And the quarterback goes down all the way back at his 4-yard line.
And you don't want to see this trend continue. Last week he was sacked 4 times. The offensive line, this offense as a whole, needs to get in better situations, get rid of the football faster, and not keep getting their quarterback hit.
Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. thought we'd see a little wildcat formation in this spot, and here it is. Back has it. Running to Green. Makes it past the marker. Slippery slide. Find his way and ran away from the crowd into the end zone. Touchdown, Seminoles. They've got the lead and trying to put this one in a hammerlock here in Week 10. Boy, did he just scorch that defense for that score.
He shows you all of it, Reese. He's got the speed, he's got the agility. This dude's a big-time playmaker. You just give him the ball, and he'll find different ways to kill you on different plays.
They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. That ball skips through the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 25-yard line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. They'll give it to the back. Slips a tackle, and he's got room. Wide open spaces. He's at the 30. Ripping through the defense. Touchdown, Bayou Bengals. He ran through tackles like water through a sieve.
This offense is so good. Man, they can hurt you in so many different ways, and they do it so quick, so explosive. They can put small drives together, big drives together. They've really had a great year, and that's why they're a top 10 offense.
How about these two running games so far? Dominance on the ground as we look at the first quarter stats. Big turning point as we head into the second and get this game rolling again. The kickoff team is on the field, and we're ready to get this one underway. And the ball will make it into the end zone. No return on that one for a touchback. So after the break, they'll go back to work. Looking for room, it's Peters. A collision, and he stopped at the 27 after picking up one.
And you want to run the football. That's okay. You'll take some of these. But if they start to add up down the road, obviously, you might want to think about airing it out a little bit.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Motion from the wideout. Back to pass. And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back at the 16. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. And this defense has maxed out this pressure. Another sack. Oh, man, they've already lost one quarterback today. Now the backup comes in and has to take a shot.
Yeah, I might think about protecting my QB a little better. I already lost one. Now your second guy gets hit, and you got to keep this guy healthy. You got to keep him upright. You got to protect your quarterback.
Good job by the coverage unit to put a stop to that return. The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. They cut into the deficit the last time they had it, forced the punt, and now they can really make this a game.
And you're right back in this thing. You're creating some momentum. You got the score. You got the stop. This offense, Jesse, has a chance now to make this an absolute barn burner of a ball game.
Yeah, it's one play at a time, though, right? You're not going to get it all back in one play. Just go out, do your job, execute, keep this thing going down the field. And if things go well, like David said, we've got a game.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Finds a soft spot in the middle. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few.
This slot receiver gives defensive coordinators nightmares. You have got to double him virtually on every pass play. He better have safety help over top. Otherwise, this guy's a threat to score every time they throw the ball.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. Unloads quickly. Tackled right at the 43-yard line, and this D didn't let him sniff that first down marker. The offense calls timeout. It's the second one they've used this half. And the Tigers looking to convert on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Shoots it to the left. And he throws another interception, his 3rd of the night. Stopped at the 44. The defense coming up with a big interception.
And he makes a play in the back end. Nice job reading the pass, and that's his 2nd of the season. This guy, unbelievable job seeing the quarterback, breaking on the quarterback, and going and getting that big play.
The Seminoles have it back. They'll try to get that offensive spear flaming. They didn't get much done the last time they had it. Had to punt it away from deep in their own territory, hoping this drive will be more productive. Turning it on! Oh, he thought for sure he was going to be able to house that one, but a huge pickup all the way down to the 12.
And you see so many of these plays now in today's football. Wide receiver coming in motion, and the quarterback catches it, just flips it forward. That's a completed pass. You see the big plays where it just lets him get on the edge really, really quickly. And if he drops the football coming in motion, it's just an incomplete pass. So these plays are getting big plays with really no risk.
He's tackled right at the 10-yard line, and they're trying to cash in on this drive. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Going to swing it on 2nd down. Moves away as he feels pressure. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Florida State. Fitted in the window for the score.
One of the areas they really focused on with this receiver in the offseason was we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. When we're taking shots, we need you to be able.
And let's hold on just a minute here as the officials are going to have a second look. And the play will stand after the replay booth just does a little double checking to make sure. Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And they knock through the extra point, and they're up 28-7. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Hey, guys, wanted to give you a quick update on a game happening in Conference USA. Jacksonville State is currently trailing in this one, but it feels like the tide may be turning. These Gamecocks have picked themselves up before, and they're capable of it again today. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to New Mexico State. Conference USA tends to make its presence felt, and we'll circle back if anything big happens you should know about.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Picks up the first down. Tackle is made at the 22, but a nice 10-yard pickup there. The Bayou Bengals have been able to put on an aerial circus in recent years, but the foundation, a running game.
Yeah, don't forget about the run game. That starts everything, right? Because if you can run it, you can throw it, you can create some balance and keep defenses off guard. But I think LSU does a really good job of always establishing the run game first. Then they'll get to their playmakers and all the speed out wide.
Lining up from the 34 on first down.
Here we go.
From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole. You want to make sure to maximize those types of runs, and he gets it out to the 41.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in second and short, not a good job by this defense.
And it's a first down. They'll mark it at the 44.
You got to have short area quickness. That running back there doing what it takes to make sure he got that first down.
The Tigers getting set on 1st and 10. Wants to throw on first down. Outside the pocket, lets it go. Complete to the right. He'll go out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Big pickup there, and this offense is feeling it. Moving into scoring territory at the 36 on first down. They'll leave it with him. Breaks into the open. Big pickup on the ground here to keep this drive moving and give them a first down.
First down, physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football and create balance. And right here, just choose up another first down. Gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got to burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it. And right now, he's doing some damage on this defense.
And he motors into the end zone. Touchdown, LSU!
Man, nice job getting the passing game going. This is big, man. Going into the half, and listen, I know you're trailing, but building some momentum. Maybe this second half we can keep airing the football out, cutting into this deficit, and who knows what the heck will happen.
And he added the extra point. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. And as the ball makes its way into the end zone, it'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. Plenty of time left in the half here as they take over, but they will want to be efficient here in the final 2 minutes. Looking downfield on first down. And it's incomplete. They were looking for the huge gain on first down.
I think for the quarterback, he's going to have to be so good with his eyes in this game. You're going up against one of the best defenses in the country. You've got to look guys off, especially when you're trying to throw to your primary target like he was on that last one.
Lining up in the Wildcat. Let's see what they've got. Direct snap. There he goes. He's at the 40. At the 20. And he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Noles.
And this dude has been a problem today. Almost 200 yards rushing, rips off another long run. He has been impossible to stop. They've featured him, and Palmer, I would continue to feature him.
Yeah, I would too, David. I think he's the definition of a running back that gets better as the game goes on. The more and more you give him the football, he just seems to get stronger. He seems to get faster. People do not want to tackle this guy for 60 minutes. He is putting on a show.
Bounces through the end zone. It's a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. Plenty of time to work, not any time to waste as they take over here in the final 2 minutes of the half. The offense changing the play. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Buys a little time. Gets rid of it. That's caught. It's Avery. They stop him just short of the first down, but it will be 2nd and inches coming up. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. We've got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. The Tigers are at the line trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. They'll stick to the ground looking for the marker. And he's got enough for the first down, and it'll be at the 35.
And that's got to feel good if you're the offense, because 3rd down has been a bit of a problem all season long, but you love the way they're executing at this point, finding ways to keep the chains moving.
Looking to throw on 1st down. He unleashes a long one. Catch inside the 25. Touchdown, Tigers! And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
We needed that. They needed to punch the ball in the end zone. They needed to cut this to a 2-score game, and they needed some positive momentum. Something going well, something to point to at half to say, guys, we got a chance. That drive, they put it together. Nice job by this offense.
They got the late touchdown on the board, now about to kick it away and hoping the defense can keep them from answering. And there will be no return on this one as the ball bounds into the end zone. Here we go. They'll try to get something on the board here in the final minute of the first half. To the air on 1st down. Rushes on him. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
Yeah, and you don't see that often, right? This guy is elite. He's one of the best in the business. This is what he does for a living, obviously. That's why he gets paid millions of dollars. Yes, NIL is real. So I don't expect many misses from this guy like that.
Wildcat look didn't get much. Picked up a few on that one.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Better get that seismograph ready here in Death Valley. He uncorks one deep. That one will be incomplete, and we are down to 10 seconds to go.
This is going to be a tough situation for the offense here. Late in the first half, they're trying to find a way to generate some points before going into the locker room, but the defense is ready for it. So the windows are not going to be very big, especially when you're trying to attack vertically like they did on that last one. Downfield completions are going to be tough to come by.
The Seminoles need to pick it up on 4th down. Quick release by the QB. Really good job to pick up a chunk of yardage and get it out to the 39-yard line. They'll use a timeout right before halftime. Maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays. Just enough time for one final play of the half. Snap to the back. Look out, he's got room. They finally get a hold of him, knocking him down behind the line of scrimmage. He had been running wild. We've played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update. LSU will put foot to leather to start the second half. That one bounds through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Okay, guys, the Florida State offense returns to the field. If it's working, why change it? And that running game was working in the first half. I imagine we'll see a lot more of it here in the third quarter.
And you just know the offensive line was telling their coordinator, put this on us. Let us continue to go out there, push these guys around. We can put this game on our back and end this thing by running the ball.
And this is a manhood question for this defense. Like, as a defensive lineman, and you're pounding the rock, like, I got to physically rise to this challenge. This defense has to play more inspired and more physical in the second half.
After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 from their own 25. Try to get it to the edge. Forges ahead, picks up about 3 to the 29. The Noles will hustle to the line. Trying to seal the edge on the right. And there were some collisions in there, and the D finally stopped him short of the marker.
I think the toss does a really good job of getting the football on the edge quickly. You know, you toss it out there to the running back, you better block the defensive end. That's priority number 1. Good job blocking the defensive end, getting a nice positive game in the toss play.
They'll try to convert from the Wildcat, finding open areas. They make the stop, but not before the chains move and the Wildcat formation pays off.
Well, how's that for being aggressive? Early in the game, 4th down, in your own territory, and you go for it. And then your offense is able to come up with the big play, generate a ton of momentum, and stay on the field. That is impressive.
Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down at the 31.
Well, the one thing we know about this defense is they've got some exotic looks, and they're not afraid to bring pressure from the second level. That time they brought the free safety, and he was able to get home and sack the quarterback.
The Seminoles trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Oh, he's got a chance. Turning it on. He was loose and setting sail, and they stop him at the 6-yard line. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And the Seminoles will try to punch it in on 1st and goal. Wide receiver going in motion. With the run on 1st and goal. Touchdown Seminoles! And they take it in for 6 more points.
Another rushing touchdown. That's now 2 on the game. This offense thought they could come into this one running the ball, being the more physical team, and they look like it right now.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And that kick was perfectly down the middle. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Fellas, it's hit triple zeros in a captivating game today in the American. Charlotte took its show on the road, and they'll be packing a big old W in their bags for the trip back to the Queen City. Never underestimate the importance of a road win and how it can impact a team's trajectory. Always fun to see 2 of the better programs in the American duke it out. A good barometer for both coaches, fellas.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. There's still plenty of time, but you see that 21-point deficit, and there is a sense of urgency now. Under fire! And he's all bottled up, and now it's worse. The ball's loose.
Well, the offense is able to avoid disaster right there. Problem is they fumbled it, but thankfully they were able to jump back on and not have a turnover.
And the Tigers have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Quarterback making checks. Back to pass on second down. Throws to the wideout. For the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Looking for more room. Touchdown, Florida State. How about this defense taking one back to the house?
And this is exactly what you dream about for a defense. Forcing the big turnover, making the pick, and then putting points on the board yourself. Great play by the defense.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And he tacks on the extra point. Kickoff unit has been busy as they have built a big lead and they're trying to hold on to it.
Set to kick off.
He'll start the return inside his 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes and they'll stop him at the 16. The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. The big thing now, don't get rattled by that last pick 6, David.
Nah, it was a big mistake. Obviously, the defense took advantage of it, but you got to put it behind you. Jesse, I'm sure you know a thing or two about throwing it.
Oh, he's got some space. And they'll get it to the 39-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
That's a huge throw for the offense, but they're down by a ton. They're going to need a lot more of that, and it's not going to be easy considering the defense knows they're probably going to be throwing the ball every play here in the second half moving forward.
And that is his 5th interception, a nightmare he is not waking up from. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football.
Well, coming out of the tunnel in the third quarter, this quarterback now is really struggling with his decision-making. 2 picks here in the third quarter. This looks like Jekyll and Hyde from what we saw in the first half.
Well, and the bad thing is they're going to be in passing situations. They're coming from behind. They're going to need him to play better. Like, he's going to have to read the field better and make some plays if they want to get back in this football game.
Slicing and dicing through this defense, and they've got it down to the 23.
Really nice job on the option that time, and obviously this running back has had himself a day, right? And this defense has figured it out. They're keying on him. You saw all the defenders that time run his way, but nobody accounted for the quarterback. He made the run.
Got some room, headed to the goal line. Touchdown, Knowles! Excellent pass by the back on the option. If you want to know how to reach this guy, just send his mail to the end zone. That's where he lives.
He definitely is today, and I think the defense has to be getting a little sick and tired of the same guy beating him time and time again.
And with that extra point, the lead remains in the gargantuan category. They wasted no time on that drive. 2 plays, touchdown just like that.
LSU 21.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. The kickoff bounces through the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 25. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. It's a good thing to be charitable, Jesse, but I think the last couple of drives might be overdoing it a bit. Breaks into the open. Ripping off a huge chunk of yardage, and he's got it just outside the 10 at the 11.
Man, is it nice to have a guy that can break one tackle and take off almost down the whole field, Palmer. This guy is a playmaker.
He really is, but it's a wasted opportunity for the defense there. They had a guy in position to bring him down for no gain, but because he missed the tackle, this defense now on their heels.
operating in the red zone here on second down. The give to the back. Lowers those pads. Relentless, tough running gets it down to the 4. Not a lot of ground to cover and not much to defend. A big third down in the red zone. They'll try to move the chains on the ground. They'll make the stop about a yard short of the first down.
You've got to think there's 11 guys on defense right now keying in on this running back. They've watched the tape. They've seen this guy gash defenses. He's scored a boatload of touchdowns this season. You're anticipating him getting the football here.
Trying to get it to the marker. How about that defense rising up and stopping him short on fourth down?
I like it. This defense plays aggressive on fourth and short, and they are rewarded. Figured they would run the football. They did. Nice job getting some penetration and stopping that fourth down play.
First play of this drive comes from the 5-yard line. Rides the back and leaves it on the option. And he'll work his way out across the 10 to about the 12.
Well, you know if you're this offense, you're dialing up this running back, man. He has been a scoring machine all season long. He just finds his way into the end zone, and this is a golden opportunity to put 6 up on the board with that guy in your backfield.
They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll make some adjustments.
And it's been a struggle for the run game for this offense. Man, this is something they hang their hat on. You saw last week, you saw the highlights, and just give it to the running back. Let him do his thing. Haven't been able to get him going. I don't know what's going on, but they got to find a way to get their talented back some space so he can make some plays.
On third and long, trying to have a big completion here. And the incomplete pass will bring up fourth down.
I think the biggest issue in the passing game for this offense has been accuracy, right? The last time this guy took the field, he completed less than 50% of his throws, and you're seeing that again in this game. Just hasn't been able to put the ball where he wants it to go.
And the Noles will try to convert on fourth down. Movement from the linebackers trying to mess with the offensive line's assignments. Complete and looking for enough for the first down. Will not get there. A fourth down stop.
Well, the defense is smelling blood in the water. As soon as they saw this offense decide to go for it in that area of the field, they were like, okay, you're going to gift us the football. We'll go ahead. We'll take over. Thanks. We'll make a play, and we'll take this over. And now we're going to try to make you pay for that decision.
The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. That last drive was promising at times, but stalled out, and they turned it over on downs, Jesse.
I think they got to do a better job here, just being better early in the downs. On first down, finding positive plays.
Yeah, and it's frustrating when you move the football and get stopped on the other side of the field and get no points. But they've had some success, and I like the aggressiveness. They just got to cash some of these drives in.
They go to the wide receiver screen. They'll get it down to the 8-yard line on that throw and catch, and the defense is backed up against the wall. Really need to pick up this conversion and avoid having to settle for the field goal. He might want another play. On third down, he drops to throw. Touchdown, Tigers! Quick strike through the air for the score.
The great thing about spreading a defense out, I can see where the blitz is coming from. I can see where they're weak. I can see my matchups. Nice job by the offense, spreading them out, taking advantage of their matchup, and getting in for the score.
And they did tack on the extra point, by the way, knocked it right down the middle. They're set to kick it off. You think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? That ball scoots through the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. So they come to the line, and the Wildcat going to give them a different look. Direct snap. It's Peters. A collision, and he stopped at the 27 after picking up 1. The defense uses their second timeout of the half as they try to get their act together. After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Looking to fire. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
You want to make a guy that's elite, that's one of the best in the business, start to become more and more human. Keep getting hits on him. Nice job by the defense, getting in his face, being physical. Make him feel your presence. Don't let him get comfortable back there in that pocket.
On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down.
Well, the offense has had their way all game long up to this point. Finally, the defense is able to make a play. And I'll tell you, after that hit, that receiver, he's going to be thinking twice about running that route again.
On 4th down, he'll try to toss it. And the incomplete pass lets this defense get the ball back for its own. Great field position.
Love the coverage on defense there. 4th down, they were ready for the pass. You saw in the back end, great job being in position to make that play. And now their offense is coming on the field.
LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. It's hard enough to stop these guys, let alone when they get field position like this. They scored last time, and this time they'll crank it up from inside the red zone.
You know, as a defense, you kind of want to force the give on the RPO. You want them to run the football, and you could tell maybe the quarterback wishes he pulled this. Small gain, but some information you gathered maybe for the next time you get to run an RPO.
That's the end of the quarter, and Florida State has the lead. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. As we enter the 4th quarter, let's see if anything memorable can come from this one. After swapping ends of the field, they gave them a little time to figure out how they'll open the final period here on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Looking down the middle. He's got the tight end. They get him stopped at the 2, but it'll be 1st and goal.
And that's a really good example of a quarterback and his intended target both being on the same page. The timing was almost perfect on that play. That's why they were able to convert the 3rd down, now setting up 1st and goal.
LSU lining up 1st and goal. Motion from the wide receiver. And he throws another interception. Inside the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 10. Touchdown Seminoles. The defense does the work itself with a pick 6. That one puts them in really good shape to get back on the right track and get another W.
And this has been the story of the game. Everything going their way. Offensively, special teams, and now on defense. Here in the 4th quarter, they're still being aggressive. They're still jumping these throws. And he picked that thing off and took it all the way to the house.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Interesting matchup this week in the Mountain West, and it sure is playing out that way. Wyoming looks like an old punching bag out there today, and I did not expect to say that. This fan base, heck, this coaching staff were not expecting these results. They're trailing by 18 to Boston College. Any change of momentum, any notable highlights from Mountain West country, we'll let you know, fellas.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Looking to throw on first down. Quarterback on the move, still looking. Rolling right and going deep. Intercepted, and now he's up to 14.
And as a defensive lineman late in the game, man, when you know it's past, you're pinning your ears back, trying to get to the quarterback, and DBs are trying to do this. Pad them stats, get the INT. Nice job by this D.
All right, guys, here comes the Florida State offense onto the field. We'll see if that failed fourth down in their own end last time, David, sort of curbed some of the aggressiveness.
Well, you hear about it all the time in football. Go for it. Be aggressive. The problem is when you get stopped, sometimes it puts you in a hole. And, Jesse, now the offense has to come out and respond.
They were real disappointed not getting that first down. You could see it on the sideline. So let's just see if that's kind of galvanized them a little bit here to go make a statement and get some points.
They're dealing with a second and long. Wants to go up top. Gets it out quickly. Oh, a lot of space. Touchdown, Florida State. Nice catch and good work afterwards to get it into the end zone. Starting to see some smiles on that sideline as they're close to a Week 10 victory.
And this always is the debate of where you fall. It's your job to stop me or I should get concerned because this offense obviously has had themselves a day. And apparently their day's not over. They're going to continue to keep scoring, and the defense better do something about it.
The ball squirts through the end zone. That'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. Weeks like this are tricky, but you have to respond better than they have, and I would expect they'll take a major hit in the rankings next week. Picks up a useful 5-yard chunk out to the 30-yard line.
And defensively, one of the most important things is stopping the run, being physical up front. That was too easy for this offense. You can't give up 5 and 6 yards a pop on the ground. Like that.
There he goes. He was off to the races and maybe another step or two and he would have scored, but they get him at the 21-yard line.
Every time he touches the ball, you can feel the excitement from this home crowd because Palmer, he can go the distance with that game-breaking speed.
You're right, David. He's a special talent. I'll tell you, these fans, they come here to see this guy play because he has game-breaking speed. Stuff you can't coach. You saw it on that play.
From the gun, leaves it on the inside with the back. They'll give him maybe one on the play. It's down to the 20.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
They'll run it from the gun. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
And, man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground. That is a ball.
He'll go out of bounds. They'll mark him at the 16. Coach has no choice here. The offense has to stay on the field, down multiple possessions this late. 4th down attempt coming. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Downfield and incomplete. The defense holds.
Tell you what, it gets late in the football game, man. I got to start being aggressive. When I'm in a hole and the clock's running out, like it's going to make me have to throw the football, be more aggressive. And this offense doesn't come through for their team, and now they're going to really need their defense to get some stops here in this football game in the 4th quarter.
Guys, here comes that Florida State offense back onto the field. They had this thing in a hammerlock at halftime, and now they are really ratcheting up the pressure, David.
And I tell you what, this offense doesn't have to change a thing, Paul. They've done what they wanted in the first half and starting off the second half in the same fashion.
And I like how they're letting different guys get involved, too. They've got so many different playmakers all over the field.
Working well behind the sticks on second down. They'll run it to keep this clock grinding. They drag him down behind the line of scrimmage, and boy, that hasn't happened very often. He has had a tremendous night.
It's going to be tough sledding for the offense here. They're trying to ice this game by running the football and bleeding the clock. They've got a pretty good lead here late in the game, but the defense knows the run's coming, right? So they're going to be loading the line of scrimmage, getting stops like what they just did. Be interesting to see what the offense does on this next one.
Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. Third and long, backed up inside their 20. He did not make it a stone wall on third down. So the offense is going to go for it on fourth down. The officials stop the clock for the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is that much closer to victory. They already have a comfortable lead, up by multiple possessions, but they're going to go for it here on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot at the DB. And it's incomplete, and this defense makes a fourth down stop.
And they decide to go for it. They decide to be aggressive, try to throw the football down the field. Receiver, quarterback not on the same page. No dice, turnover on downs.
Going right to work up top. Pulls it in. He'll be stopped just short of the end zone, but they'll have it first and goal. Trying to get everybody set with the clock still running. They want to throw it. Moves around to clear up the vision. And he'll be knocked down at the 2-yard line.
And man, is that just indictment of the day. Your quarterback getting drilled late in the football game. This offense is sputtered. They haven't found any kind of good rhythm. They haven't done things that really gives your coach confidence and makes you want to believe in them. This offense has a lot of work to do before their next football game.
Can the D deny them on second and goal? Back to pass. Dances away. Fires into the end zone. Can't make the grab as he was looking for his man right at the goal line.
And this is just one of those days, man, where everything has gone wrong, right? Like they just haven't been in a rhythm. They haven't got it going and never built the momentum. This is one of those days that you learn from, you try to grow from. A lot of things that we're going to show in the film room that people aren't going to like, but hopefully you can learn from it and do better next time.
And after that stop from the defense, they're still on the 2, and now it's third down. A design run for the quarterback. He cannot get it in, a mere inches away from pay dirt.
And I think this offense is all but surrendered, right? Like they're down so much. They need to be throwing the football if they want to score a bunch of points to get back in this game. But they got to find something moving forward, man. This was a rough day. This was not a great offensive performance. They got to bounce back the next opportunity, the next moment. Because today, it was not a good day.
Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Wants to pass. And that falls incomplete on fourth down, but wait just a second. There is a flag, and this is a big call. They're backed up, 1st and 10 from inside their own 5, and they'll try to get this drive started. Leaves it with the back. And I think they'll mark him right at the line of scrimmage. Didn't help much with the breathing room, but on the upside, they avoided the safety.
Really nice job stopping the run, but the problem is you have 0 timeouts left. You cannot stop the clock right now if you're the defense, so this has got to be excruciating for them. They know the offense is just going to take their time before they snap the ball.
Just a bit of a misfire there as they can't make the connection.
And that's a good stop for this defense. And listen, there hasn't been a lot of positive today, but let's finish this game strong. I think that'll be the message from the defensive coordinator. Can we get a stop? Can we get them off the field? I know lots went wrong, but let's live in this moment and try to be great right here to end the game.
They stopped him after a short game, probably just wanted to mitigate the losses with 4th down coming. It is amazing what you can do with your roster if you just refuse to have kickers. It's also amazing how you can wreck a game. Hauls it in, the 1st down and more. And not much of a 4th down gamble when it's that much of a sure thing. An easy conversion for this offense. That one interception in the loss last week really stuck with him, but he's answered by taking care of the football in this game.
Nice answer. Just a nice bounce back. When you're the leader and you're the guy that everybody looks to and you handle adversity from last week like you did today in this game, nice job by this quarterback leading this team.
They get the W, and with that being win number 6, looks as if they're going bowling, guys.
And that's a good moment for this squad, right? You start every season, you have big goals. It usually starts with your conference championship and winning a national championship, maybe going to the playoffs. Everybody has different goals, but getting to a bowl is always sweet, and this team's eligible.
I know the coaches are really happy about this, the AD and the fans, because they know what it means for the program, right? You're going to get those 15 extra practices at the end of the year to help develop young talent. Looking ahead to next season, but that's next season. There's still a lot of football left to go this year. Let's just see how good of a bowl game they can get to.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us.